Good morning, Nigeria. The day is fresh and so are we. Today is Tuesday, the 23rd day of September 2025. Hope you had a wonderful night rest and you're ready for the day. Lillian, how are you this morning?
I'm very well, Uche. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Now, the rain. I need to talk about the rain.
Honestly, I almost got stuck on my way here.
Honestly, yesterday we had heavy rainfall, and this morning again heavy rainfall.
Yeah.
It's been a lot, and NIMET actually predicted that we're going to have 3 days of rain and thunderstorms starting from Monday, which was yesterday, through to Wednesday. So let's see how that goes. Even some areas are going to be looking at issues of flooding as well. Yeah, because of the rain.
I think we should give the viewers some, safety tips.
Yeah, just make sure to take an umbrella with you when you're coming out, and if you're in flood-prone areas, just do the needful. That I think that.
And also unplug appliances.
Yes,
stay away from tall trees, poles, and all that.
Due to the thunderstorms and the like. Just stay safe. That's just the summary of all that we're saying. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Signature Morning on Signature TV. I am Uchenna Chimdi Oluoha.
And I am Lillian Wali. Stay with us. Our newspaper headlines and reviews coming up next. Welcome back. Now we're set for our newspaper headlines. And on the Guardian newspaper, 24 states backpedal on electricity decentralization over tariff and debt risk. That's on page 6.
Fubara declares peace with Wike after meeting Tinubu.
And Nigeria's economy posts 4.23% growth in Q2, outperforms projections.
Enroll children in schools or serve jail term, Gome government tells parents, and gunmen kill Benue APC chieftain, abducts district head in Plateau.
Constitution alteration, Tinubu Akpabio Abbas declares support for women's reserved seats bill, and Nigeria's democracy faces collapse without INEC reforms, Bogaje warns.
Rivers, stakeholders call for probe of Iba's 6-month administration. Natasha's trial stalls as women's group petition United Nations.
And tension in Edo local government as acting chairman receive impeachment notices.
On the Nation newspaper, Fubara have made peace with Wike.
House pushes for state police council autonomy and others. Oil, agric industries drive GDP's 4.23% growth.
El-Rufai's life president claim absurd, says presidency. Court fixes Monday to hear case on withheld Osun Council's fund.
And procurement, that's on Vanguard newspaper. FG rejects U.S. report alleging lack of transparency, says AUGF fails to provide substantive report on budget execution. Report not through, says FG.
All right, we have State of the Nation. Why we can't return to regionalism, says Tanko Yakasa on page 14.
And on page 19, FACC NUPRC records 459.6 billion naira revenue shortfall, despite 3% rise in monthly remittance.
Now, on the Punch newspaper, on the headlines, we have flood disaster. States intensify action as 232 die, 121,000 displaced. NEMA lists Niger, Adamawa, Lagos among worst hit states in 2025 as farmland homes destroyed on page 2.
And Fubara consults Tinubu on River Speed's sustenance. And also, NBS announces 4.23% economic growth. Labor differs.
FX reserves hit $42 billion, highest in 6 years on page 23. And we have Dolphins dedicate Zenith Bank title win to late Abodere.
And on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, Tinubu, Fubara in father-son discussion in Aso Rock. Governor seeks guardians on how to avoid further crisis in Rivers, restates peace with Wike, and that's on page 3.
Senators divided over Natasha's resumption. Her trial on alleged cybercrime against Akpabio stalled, rescheduled for October 20 on page 16.
Well, bodies of 8 missing policemen recovered in Benue as gunmen kill APC chieftain on page 26. And 4% FOB levy, LCCI expresses concerns over enforcement despite FG suspension, calls for policy clarity.
On health, inhaling marijuana increases risk for asthma attacks by 44%, says study on page 5. And US threatens visa ban on corrupt Nigerian leaders on page 3.
Nigeria loses $18 billion to financial crimes yearly, says Abbas on page 4. And court fixes September 29 to hear Osun government motion on withheld LG funds.
Now on the Daily Sun newspaper, corruption. US slams visa ban on Nigerian politicians, says fighting corruption knows no border.
Constitution review, opportunity to deepen federalism, strengthen institutions, says Tinubu.
Nigeria loses $18 billion annually to financial crime, says Abbas.
And that is the much we can take on the headlines this morning. And with us in the studio, as usual, to review all the headlines is Mr. Chris Maduka. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Uche. And good morning, the people of the world. This is another day on Signature TV newspaper review. My name is Christian Chibuzo Maduka, as you've been told. And my young friends call me the Oracle. Well,
So,
let's...
from The Guardian,
Yeah.
24 states backpedal on electricity decentralization over tariff and debt risks.
And then I remember one time the Senate President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, may God bless his soul, that's the Oyi of Oyi. You remember who I'm talking about? He was a former Senate President of Nigeria. It was one time he was given a title in Uri. It was a traditional title they gave him, the Uri, the traditional birthplace of Igbo nation, as was the history said. And after they gave him the speech, after they gave him the title, he was allowed to address the nation. And he kept asking the Nigeria, why are you still fighting the war? He said, so many years after the Civil War, there is still war going on. Why are you still fighting the war? All the press and the authority of the Senate and all, they tried to kill that news. It didn't go out. I want to compare and allude this with the National Electricity Regulation Commission and the State Electricity Regulatory Commission. They said they want to, customize to states and give them power to regulate energy in the states. Why are they still fighting the war? We thought we were winning, but now we find out we are losing. Whatever make the states, all the states that have agreed earlier for regulation of power at the states, for them to fix their own tariff, to renege and come back and say that they are afraid. They are afraid of what the tariff debt they will owe later. My father said, now that when the masses are supporting the regulation and they find out that, for instance, we are talking about Enugu, particularly with the example, Enugu brought down the electricity tariff to 160 naira. And we were like, they were, the National Electricity Regulatory Commission were hell-bent on bringing it back to status quo. The federal government stepped in and asked NEC to allow the states to regulate. And we thought we have won. Now, a lot of states have reneged on their agreement before to regulate power because of the threat of National Electricity Regulatory Commission. And that sabotage they're afraid of is what is going to come back, and then before you know it, we'll begin to pay that high tariff on electricity in Nigeria at the earlier fixed by National Electricity Regulatory Commission, which is not good for us. Which is not good for us. What is becoming at least affordable in Nigeria? Nothing. If you go to the bush to cut trees, to put on your fire as we used to do in the village, there's environmental degradation, desert encroachment, this, that. Are the elites in Nigeria and the rich people, are they saying that the poor people should all take poison and die off so that they will occupy the space? You cannot afford electricity. You cannot afford to buy fuel or petroleum product, PMS. You cannot afford gas. You cannot afford food. You cannot afford medicine. Your children cannot go to school. And they keep pressing and making it so difficult for people to live in this country. And they think it will continue like this. I wish them luck. Let the state renege. Let them go back, put the tariff price of electricity back to order. Goat, the goat that is lying on the ground is lying on his skin. Let's go. At the end of it all, whoever throws stone inside the marketplace, you don't know who is going to do it. At the end of it all, what goes round comes round. My only concern is that people who sit on the side can afford at any price. I keep using that allusion, whether I'm right or wrong, only history will tell. Anybody who is earning 29 million a month can afford to buy anything in Nigeria. I'll tell you what the price is. And the people in National Assembly are earning this money. Most people in political offices are earning, and they're even working hard to increase what they earn. But they cannot work hard to say that 70,000 naira minimum wage is not enough. We all go to the same market to buy electricity tariff at high price. We go to filling station to buy. We go to fill gases to cook food. We go to the same market to buy ewa and agbado. Why? Where is their conscience? Where is their leadership ability? Because the essence of making you leader, all this essence they kill to get to the position of leadership, is it to press us down? I don't know who in the Bible, Rehoboam or Jeroboam, said which template they are using to govern Nigeria. But time will tell. Let's move on.
All right, moving on. Part of our conversations this morning is on support for women's reserved seats. And here we're seeing that constitution alteration, Tinubu, Akpabio, and Abbas declare support for women's reserved seats bill.
Well, they can. They've always supported. The idea is the willpower to enforce. Remember the issue of Beijing conference before we were in primary school. Beijing went to the Commandant Declaration, they called it several names. Development organizations came supporting women to press. There were times they promised 35%. Where is 35% in Nigerian Senate when you have only 3 women senators? Where is 35% they agreed earlier in Federal House of Representatives when they have less than 17? Where is the 35%? Federal government is continuous. Federal government, we have had is on record, promised women 35%. Where is it in the appointment of ministers, ministerial position? In other political appointments, and the 2027 is coming back. You know those things they tell women, when I go to Aba, I'll buy you on a child. When I go this, they're on top of the women. When it's over, they will forget all they said. That is what they're coming back to say. We support women. Support is not what we're asking for. We are asking for action. Let's see. How many years is Nigeria after independence? Have you heard a woman who has been vice president of Nigeria? Is it a taboo? Have you found a woman who is, even the few that are in Senate, the women group have petitioned UN, the only three of them in the Senate, the other 2 out of fear, because King Gibe, Senator King Gibe wanted to say when they do Natasha, they silence her. Now it's one young woman in Senate representing Kogi Central against 107 shameless people. They're fighting Natasha. That's all we have achieved since the history of the 10th Senate. We have not had anything. It's only Natasha they've achieved. And there are people supporting women. The one that have struggled to get there, you are intimidating them and pushing them to what do I say? Pushing them to extinction. It's politics. They call it. Is it not? Anybody who use a fake dollar to do Christmas for a mother-in-law, what you give is what you take. Most of them have daughters. And they are, all their children are schooling abroad. And then in high schools, Oxford, Stratford, when they come back, they push them. Only few of them is what to find. But nobody can rise through the rank and file to get to anywhere as a woman. They only talk. And the world is watching them. You expect people to come and improve their money. The international organization will come to community and donate. It says gender. How many? Gender exclusion and social inclusion and gender equality or equity is absent in Nigeria. Political structure everywhere, even in the churches and mosques. We tell ourselves lies a lot in Nigeria. So let's move on.
Yes. All right, now on the Daily Sun, we're seeing a very interesting headline. Corruption, US slams visa ban on Nigerian politicians.
It sounds good. It sounds good. But like I said, one bad apple will spoil the law. You know, we are saying that the sickness has not gone around everybody. Somebody boldly came out and said, let the man who has swollen stomach has also swollen scrotum. That's dangerous. Now, we're saying some Nigerians abroad are bringing us bad image and all. The politicians in Nigeria has also opened, the air has blown, and they will see the nyash of chicken. Now you see, even, it is a country where you are. Look at the insult. The country, has sovereign power, and they are treating. If your politicians are denied visa, it means that if you go there, the people who are going to give you a visa might ask you, are you in any way related? If I find a politician who has been all war, someday when they trace and push the woman, they say, are you related? Or you are saying to God, I am not. They say, visa rejected. So let people not smile. If they reject for politicians in Nigeria, it will affect all of us. Imagine when the leaders are rejected. So is it you that followers that will walk through? My people who talk say, if you want, there's this hole that they always make in the wall in homesteads in local Igbo land. They call it Mpio, where a cook and chicken and all will pass through, go for feed themselves, come back into the house through those holes in the wall. When you use a small chicken to put the hole, the circumference of the hole, when big chicken like these are Greeks that do brew and when they put the head there, they won't pass. So now they are using the politicians in Nigeria to put this visa giving and taking in Nigeria with the politicians. How many of them? That means when the majority of people gets to that place, they will get stopped. That's my analogy. So it is not yet to huru, because what is bad is bad. And once the foundation, the leadership, look at what they're messing them up, Nigerian. And then some of them will come out and introduce themselves in the world. You are a position, one position or the other in Nigeria, when America can't give, because who is not, which Nigerian politician is not corrupt? It's another way of telling them that no Nigerian politician will be the world denied visa.
All right, moving ahead. Tinubu and Fubara in father-son discussion in Aso Rock.
Well, after the storm, come calm. That's the saying. They fought. Until you have a fight, you won't know. As you may be looking at Uche and Lillian and say you were engaged in a fight. And before the fight, we say Uche is enough, Uche is enough, because looking at Uche is taller than you. And, but Uche won't know that the blood that will kill somebody, he cannot come with a trailer. You know, they don't bring it with trailer. So when the fight starts, it will be Lillian with just one lower cut or upper cut. If your hand will reach. Then Uche will collapse. They will say, hey, hey. Then they will start making peace. Until the fight is done, you won't know who is the power. Well, in this one, we know who started the fight, who won the fight, as it were. So there's time for peace. We only know that the peace, they told us, we don't know how long it lasts, but the artificial peace has a way of looking artificial. Because anything artificial can, we are watching. We were there when the fight started. We were calling for calm, calm. They went to the battle. When they finished, they now come. Why are we celebrating their peace? Let them go on and fight. I told you the illusion of two monkeys who cannot share the banana, and a chimpanzee came. Now, for peace, in River State, it's settled in Asorok. So anytime they want to talk about peace, they go to Asorok to make sure the papa. For the two monkeys, the chimpanzees at the center, they say, hey, monkey one, your life is here, yeah, monkey two, okay, make una embrace and shake hand and smile to the camera. Peace in Rivers. And they think that it is peace. This is plastic peace. Peace from Rivers to Asorok. Only where you tell us, let them go to River State. Go to Rumola or Rumokri or Rumokuta, anywhere that call the people and tell them there's peace and embrace. Must the president be there for peace to reign in them? So something they are not telling us. That whole thing is politics. And that's why you know it's politics. And we are interpreting it and reviewing it are all political maneuver. They played into the hand of Asorok. And Asorok will determine when they smile and have peace and shake hand and embrace. For a reason. Because who wouldn't want such position to occur? If you are looking some people who are looking to penetrate your house, they don't find a way. And suddenly the husband and wife start fighting. They came in praise to a separate fight. They've entered. And they will remain there pretending they are angry, but they are looking for something.
Now, looking at the Punch newspaper, we're seeing flood disaster. States intensify action as 232 die and 121,000 displaced.
121,000 is displaced. They will go into IDP camps. As the news have said it, that's when they go and forgotten. And the flooding will come because it's seasonal. Flooding will come in 2026. More people will die. Before 2027 election, maybe flooding will come again. I don't know when the election in 2027 will come. Maybe, and you add it up. And they're expecting to get, anyway, politicians will go to the pool. They already know 100 and how many people that have lost in their votes. And the ones that are in IDP camps might not have access to voting because the people, nobody has thought about it, how voting is done in IDP camp. Because we are talking about people in prison the other day, whether they have right to vote, and Nigeria is still doing like this. So once you are displaced, it's easier for the politicians. They know what they are doing. The Nigerians have enough money to make sure they can control flooding. And even early signs, early warning signs can be placed for people, and the government why by now we know the states that are prone to flooding in Nigeria. Why has there not been some agency or commission that waits, and their job is once the season is getting there, they know what to do to move people to safe ground, bring them back when the thing is over. But you will hear displaced. Have you been talked about replaced? That's Nigeria for you. That's what we do. These are Nigerian citizens. Look at the number that have died of flooding. Plus it with the ones who have died of insecurity. Plus it with the one who cannot afford medicine to go to in the hospitals. Plus it with the one who are dying in a traffic accident. Put it together. People are causing and having their tea at where government is paying for them, and they say they are representing the people. How many times have you had these issues being discussed at the Senate chambers, at the Federal House of Reps chambers, even the state houses of assembly, even at the local government? We only hear in Edo state of impeachment. We have not had any good thing they do there. If it's not during impeachment, that's the only thing you hear. You will hear good policies that are discussing at the floors of all the houses, from local government to Senate chambers. And they will think Nigeria will suddenly by accident, suddenly they do like one day like this. God, they let there be light. There will be light in Nigeria. They let there be peace. Water, separate water from land. There will not be flooding. We are telling ourselves lies. These are realities. But our leadership are not sensitive. I'm sorry.
All right. All right, our time is almost up, but then I wanted us to talk about the Nigerian GDP expansion by 4.23% in Q1 as oil and industry drive growth.
Because of time, same thing, really like this. They said Obigo, I keep saying that Obigo Army, where is good. NBS, Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, have been coming out with figures. The whatever Minister of Finance come out with figures. Nigeria is growing, inflation rate coming down. Nigerian Labour Congress said it is a lie. So whose do you believe?
All right, that is a question.
Whose report do you believe? You are saying it's all right. You must believe one person. NLC, don't just wave me like that. NLC said these figures are not realistic. It's not. They are the workers of Nigeria, and they are more in number. So few people in NBS will come in and generating data and figure, and so for sound political good and economic. But the world is watching. You can't deceive the world. They know nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. Because when snail is crawling, it crawls along with the shell. But Nigeria is a wonderful nation where snail crawl and the shell is left somewhere, and you see it. So Nigeria is a country full of magic. God bless Nigeria.
Yes.
God bless all those people who have had time to be with us this morning. Once again, we thank God for your lives, and we keep on. Nigeria will have another finish. God bless you. But remember, God blessing is for those who deserve
to be blessed.
Thank you, Lillian. Thank you, Che.
Thank you. Chris Maduka, we are always delighted to have you in our studio. Now we'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll bring to you more discussions. Stay with us.